back to other leaders.
This meeting is
welcome,
being recorded.
welcome. Go ahead and everybody mute yourself if you haven't had a chance to get yourself muted. John, you can kind of keep an eye on as a co-host there, and anybody else who's on there as a co-host. Let me get somebody else just in case. Annette, I just added you in there just in case we get some folks coming on and joining us. But welcome, everyone. I can't believe we are now into September. That means we've gone through 8 months of 2023 already. That's just, I mean, it's just very, very difficult to even comprehend sometimes how fast time goes. Now, precious time really is. So welcome, everybody. Timmer Halligan here. I'm at my office here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Looking forward to a great call with everyone this evening. We're heading into, like I said, a brand new month. The company came out the other day and, made some announcements with more to come, they said. But a couple of things that, they kept, which was, super, super awesome, is the $49 startup fee to become an associate. $49. They're going to carry this through the month of September into October, when we're going to have a leadership summit event on October 3rd in Dallas, Texas. And at this event, they're going to make some big announcements. I know they made one just yesterday or the other day talking about the new senior director breakaway bonus, which is going to kickstart in the month of October. It's like a $21 breakaway bonus as a senior director. So if you haven't seen that, I know it's in your back office. Check that out. There's a lot of folks who are sitting at director that, just a stone's throw away from getting a senior director. So make sure you take a look at that. Also, the Dream Bigger Blitz, which is if your performance club qualify before September 12th, you got an opportunity to get a $150 bonus. It's $150 to performance club qualify, which is something everybody wants to do. We had several people qualify this month. I was just looking, I was on my 221st month of getting to Performance Club. And it's nothing really fancy other than just doing a little bit of stuff every single day. But you take a look at it and just think about being in Performance Club by itself. At 200 months, if you're getting $500 a month, that's $100,000, worth of bonuses that are coming in. And the residual that comes along with that, because you've got 3 to 5 memberships you're writing every single month for 10 to 15 years, whatever that number is. So Performance Club's where you want to be. Now, if you Performance Club qualify and add one brand new associate, you get a $200 bonus. And if you Performance Club qualify and you've got two associates, you get a $300 bonus. All of that money can be used towards going to the trip, going to the leadership event down in Dallas. So make sure you jump on and catch the additional information. Go into your LS Engage. And when you go into your LS Engage, you'll have the opportunity to, see the various promotions that we've got going on. I'll be reminding you guys at the end of the call about our Shield Nation call tomorrow evening. There is still opportunities to go to Jamaica. So if you have not, looked in your back office, there's still opportunities to get the trip to Jamaica. They made some announcements today where they're going to say, or this week, that September through February, the top 50 full service associates also get the trip to Jamaica. Folks, the trips are amazing. I can't say enough about them. It's a complimentary trip for incentivizing you to build your business, and you're getting paid for building that business, and you've got the opportunity to be able to build a long-term residual income, which is so important. And the longer you have it, see, once you experience residual income, I know every single person on this line experiences what it feels like to get some money for doing something that you did once before, right? So if you've been in this business over a year, you know what it feels like to be able to get paid on something you did a year ago. And then after 14 months and 15 months, imagine, I see Mr. Drennan on here working on his 3rd million, I believe, right now. Could be the 4th. Working on his 4th million with Legal Shield. And the amount of business is 20 plus years from just doing a few simple things and every day. And so, I thought I'd talk about tonight for just a second. I'll set the tone for this evening. I was going back through some notes, and tonight I wanted to focus a little bit on recruiting. I'll get back to that, to kind of close out, this evening's call, talking about recruiting and some things that we want to do. But I was looking at some notes from Mr. John Addison the other day. This was from 2017, and I wrote these notes down. It's interesting when I look back at all the hundreds of pages of notes that I've got from all the events that I've been at, and I've got them all stored. So I just started this weekend going through some stuff, pulling out some things that I'd read or had been instructed about or spoken about many, many years ago. And so here's Mr. John Addison from 2017. He said, and I say this, he said, Timmer, because I felt like he was talking to me, just like I'm sharing with y'all. He said, you can either make excuses or you can have results. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. In fact, my wife's coffee cup I just gave her tonight's got that exact quote on it. He said, this is not a charitable organization. You are in business and you must seize this moment as you are in the greatest time in Legal Shield's history. I think we can continue to say that today. He said, you have to take responsibility for your life. How much freedom do you want? Was the question he asked. How much income do you want? He said, life is too short to have timid dreams. He said, quit talking about what you want and get it done. He said, building something big is a matter of choice, not chance. Demand something great for your family. That one got me really. Like I remember when he said that, anytime you start throwing, do something great for your family, do something that's going to be demanding of yourself to create something better. I just found out last week I'm at my first grandbaby, and it's like that changes perspectives, right? Like my daughter calls me from England, says, you're going to be a grandpa. I said to my dad, you're going to be a great grandpa. I was like, holy cow. That puts different things into perspective. You start thinking much longer term when those types of things happen. He said, we must pay a price for success. He said, we must recruit more new people who are going to bring in more new people. He said, you got to build a winning environment. He said, there's a reason palm trees don't grow in Minnesota, right? It just doesn't have the climate to make that happen. And so I just want to kind of set the tone a little bit, because I'm going to talk a little bit closing tonight out about recruiting. But first, what I want to do is go out to, got a couple of ladies on here that had, a great Performance Club month this last month. I know they've been in Performance Club for a while, and maybe even fallen out at one time. I think we've all been part of that. We've maybe fallen out of it once and had to get back into it again. And, Performance Club is about a decision. And I can remember when this first lady I'm going to go out to made her decision to get in Performance Club. We were at this event, and we were at this a briefing. We were out in Shorewood, Illinois. And after the briefing was done, we were sitting there talking. And we kind of had, if I remember the tone, it was kind of like this coming to Jesus kind of conversation. Like, just get out and do it, man. Enough's enough. If you're going to be talking to people and you're going to be sharing the story, you might as well be in Performance Club. And, this lady's been in them for multiple years in Performance Club. And I remember that night, Miss Annette Zobar. And I remember the nights kind of after that where there was some late nights. It was like getting Performance Club done around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And then all of a sudden it started happening earlier in the month and earlier in the month. And I think last month you did Performance Club last month for last month and this month, and still run your QuickBooks business where you've got, quite a few clients you're taking care of across the country. So Ms. Annette Zobar, maybe you can share a little bit about, last month, maybe impart your views on Performance Club and, why it's so important that you get that done each and every month. So tell us a little bit about the month of July. And I know you're definitely excited. Oh, month of August. Sorry. I know you're definitely excited I had to think for a second. Well, wait, July, my birthday was last month. That was August. So I know that you're excited about the month of September. So Miss Annette Zobar, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it all actually did start off with making a decision that I was going to do it. And it was also one of those things too, where I didn't really think you thought I could do it. So I was going to show you that I could. So that's probably not the best reason to do something, but the results were good. Kind of fell. I've been in Performance Club for many months. Kind of fell out of it for a month during the whole move down here to the Gulf Coast, but got back in. And after convention, just really made a commitment that I was just going to really push at it. And it's interesting because I haven't really felt like I've been pushing. I've been doing a lot of events where I've been sharing, and I just tell my story and tell the story about Legal Shield and ID Shield. And literally all of my members in the last 4 months have been the result of people hearing that story. Except for, I think there were 2 of them that were from referrals from other members. But and I've been doing recruiting as well. And I haven't been, like forcing people to do that either. I've been telling my story and saying, I got into it because I started working with Legal Shield because I needed another stream of income. And it seemed like I was talking to all the right people. And so I just did it little by little. And so the people have been coming up to me after meetings saying, I'm interested in the membership, but you know what? I'm interested in the opportunity too. Tell me how to do it. And so we've had some people come up with that as well. One of the guys here, Deshaun, he's one of the people that I met through a meeting, and he came up afterwards and said, hey, I'm interested. And so we got him enrolled, and he became an associate, and he's on his way. But it has to do with consistency and just doing things every day. That's one thing, commitments I made years ago, that every day I'm going to do something about Legal Shield. It may only be 5 minutes, but every day I'm going to do something. And that has really helped. And just sharing my story over and over again, and the stories that I hear from other people, because what we do is really important, and we do need help. We have a lot of people out there that are looking not only for our services, but for an opportunity to help. And when we don't share that, we're doing them a disservice as well. So I've had to kind of change my attitude about that. But so now I'm more like on a mission about just sharing. And if someone is interested, then I follow through with them. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I do remember. So I liked your reasoning too. Sometimes just showing somebody you can do something, although I always believed that you could. That was never, ever something. So I'm glad you believed it though, because it got you going. But, we'll come back to you and ask, I got a question for you and this other lady in just a minute or so. But I know you killed last month. I mean, I think you already got Performance Club done for this month, right, Annette?
yes, the last 2 months I've started off with having the month done. And
Right.
that's kind of been a challenge for me too, because I'm so used to operating under pressure. And I wanted to make sure that I just don't like lay back and say, okay, I got it done. I don't have to do anything this month. So, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm working on the following month. I'm working on the following month. I'm working on becoming senior director. So I kind of had to change my goals. So I'm no longer just going after PC. I've expanded my goals.
Awesome. I think one of the greatest things that the company has done and with Performance Club is to be able to now carry over all your points, right? That there was that time, whether you thought it or not, that if you couldn't double your points, why even go? And I swear it kept momentum down. So super excited about that. Now this lady right here is another person that had a fantastic month of August, and I'm doing some similar things, luncheons, bringing people together, building a team, been in Performance Club, been on Performance Club trips. Remember doing one with you. Again, maybe a fallen out here and there, gotten right back in, because anytime you fall down, if you're on a bike, you just get back up. You don't get back and walk your bike back. You get back on the bike and you ride it back to wherever you are. Well, probably some people actually walk it back because they don't want to get back on the bike again. But, we've all had that type of stuff. And this lady had another awesome month next month, or last month. And I know you're excited for where we are. In fact, I know you were featured maybe a week or so ago on our Ladies of Justice National Zoom, I believe. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Lee Perry in Evansville, Indiana. Same thing. Talk a little bit about last month, your thoughts about Performance Club, why it's important, why it keeps you motivated, and any other great tips that you've got for us.
Well, I don't know if I have great tips, but I'm super excited that my workout partner has raised the bar and that she's got it done the beginning of the month, because those last minute calls for both of us were never fun. So we both challenge each other. And I think 4 years ago, I just made the commitment that I was going to be in Performance Club. I was in and out and in and out, and really kind of struggle with it, and then just made the decision that that's the minimum bar. Well, first it was making it. We can do this every month. And Annette and I were challenging each other. We can do this every month. And then we will do it every month, and we're pushing for next month too. And that's a minimum, not a maximum. So it's a mindset reset. And it's also, Mr. Drennan will be gratified to know that I'm still learning how to be coachable. I didn't realize that I was teachable but not coachable until I became a member of Legal Shield and an associate, especially. It's easy to learn it. It's much harder to practice what you're told. And I think it's like Annette said, it's the consistency, which is something that I work on every day, but it's making sure to follow through with folks. So if somebody says, "Hey, I'm interested," or "I have someone who's interested," or um, "I've got this situation," everybody always knows that they can have a one-to-one with me, whether that's a Zoom or a sit down or a phone call to share about a situation. One of the ones, Timmer, that really helped me commit was a gal who's an educator called me crying. She was embarrassed and upset because she had a medical procedure and they started collections on her and wouldn't work with her at all. And I said, "We first breathe, we got this." And then she made the phone call. The law firm helped her get everything set up, and just seeing the relief on her face and knowing that she could serve her students and she could take care of herself. She was single. That really helped me commit to being in Performance Club every month at the back 4 years ago. I don't know that I have any exciting tips other than just make sure you're
I was
following
muted
through.
there. I was sitting there getting ready to speak. It comes back to the stories that we can share. I mean, Annette shared a Legal Shield story, and that got people to ask. You shared a Legal Shield story, and that gets people to want to ask. And we've heard from our mentors, John and Darcy Hoffman, see the people and tell the story, right? See the people and tell the story. I got one final question for y'all, because when you got two people, success leaves clues. And we talk all the time about workout partners. And the two of y'all are workout partners. And I know I've heard many stories of late nights and conversations and butt kickings and anything else that needs to go on. And y'all both just had an awesome month last month. So what do y'all do as workout partners? Like, tell us a little bit about how that works. Maybe each of you share a tidbit or two.
Well, Annette said, "We're going to have a weekly call." She said, "We're going to do a Zoom and we're going to do it weekly. And sometimes if her Mr. Wonderful comes home early or is on a weekend, or if I've got a situation or I'm traveling or something, we'll cancel it. But we touch base almost every day. But we have that weekly Zoom to just talk about, here's what's coming up and here's what we've got going on, and making sure that she's a lot better about being focused and having it all written down. So she encourages me to do the same."
Awesome. Nat, what about you?
I'm really good at making appearances and I have everything all put together. And actually, one of the reasons I do have things put together is because I want to get on the call and be prepared. If I wasn't having to get on that call and be prepared, I probably wouldn't be putting things together. I'd be just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants. But over the years, Lee and I started out pretty business oriented, I guess you could say. But over the years, we've become really, really super great friends. She's one of my emergency contacts, actually. But we talk a lot about, we do a lot of brainstorming. We encourage one another. We kick each other in the butt every now and then. Sometimes we start venting about something, and like I'll start being ticked off about something and she'll listen to it for a short period of time, and then she'll get me to refocus on, okay, yeah, you're right, that's a horrible situation, what can we do to fix it? Where do we go from here? So I think we both keep each other focused on what we need to do, and we're there for one another. Like if I'm not available and one of my associates needs something, they can call her, and vice versa. So we've been there for that. And if I have a question, she's the first person I ask. And sometimes she doesn't know, but she's got usually some good ideas about where I can get the answer. So it's about constant communication back and forth.
Yeah. And also, Timmer, there'll be a lot of times, like if one of us is talking to a member or a potential member, and we're not sure which direction to go or what to do or what next step. Like we know the steps, but we may not know what the next step is. Then we bounce those ideas off each other, and also presentations and stuff like that. Well, what do you think about this? Is this too cheesy to say? Or is this a great idea? Or what about this idea? How about I do a baseball game with my with my earn group, with my networking group this time? Yeah, that sounds great. Bouncing ideas off each other, I think, is super helpful too. And just having sometimes you need another perspective. Sometimes you get too buried in stuff. And then the other thing that we do too, Timmer, is she's got the beach behind her. Sometimes I'll tell her, I said, Annette, don't you need to go down to the beach? Don't you need to go walk on the beach? And she'll tell me to go take a break and go have a coffee or go walk or go get a hug or something like that.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, listen, first of all, congratulations on a great month last month, and even bigger congratulations on finding such amazing friends in this company, right? That's what's really darn cool. Business that you can, work together, and you guys aren't even connected in the business, right? There's no financial reward for either one of you when somebody does something in this business. But that's special. So congratulations on an excellent month last month. And here's what I'm going to talk about for just a minute, guys. I'm going to talk about this because how do you get somebody like a Lee Perry or an Annette Zobar or a John Drennan or a Deshaun or a Robert Bagley or a John Bradley? How do you get them on your team, right? How do you get them? You have to bring them into the business. College football is going on. What games this weekend? If you got to catch any college football, with the exception of those of us that have Spectrum where they got rid of ESPN, what kind of stuff is that? Goodness gracious. They had people scrambling all weekend to find it. Me, I was trying to find the U.S. Open. But how do you get people? You got to bring them into this business. As I'm watching college football, I'm thinking every one of those college football players got recruited. Every single one of them, like when I got recruited to play tennis at college, that was a big deal. When you get recruited to go to a university, that's a big deal. When you go visit an Army recruit or a Navy recruit or a Marine recruiter, you're being recruited into an organization that takes care of our country. The word recruit is a great word, but we have a tendency to think about it in a negative way for a variety of different reasons. Here's some interesting stats. I don't think anyone right now would disagree that things are way more expensive today than they ever were before. I don't care who you are. Like you go to the grocery store, like I'll go and I'll buy something, and something was 99 cents last week or last month, and now it's $1.30. That is a 30% increase of what it is. I mean, so people throughout the year are not getting 30% increases. The cost of living is continuing to go up. So right now, people are looking for more. 72% of Americans would rather work for themselves than for a job, and 67% think about quitting their jobs. 67% think about quitting their jobs every single Sunday night, except for tonight because tomorrow's Labor Day and most people are off. But there are some people that are going to be working tomorrow, right? And then you start thinking about what it is that we offer. And I'm looking at this thing that I put together a couple of years ago, and I put this together as I was going through our plans, and it says, and I use this as a post on social media, and I sent it out. I said, so I was sitting with a potential business partner and asked him about he asked me how we get paid at our company. He really likes our company, but he had 10 pretty demanding requirements before he would think about coming on board. Number one, first, I need to set my own schedule and work around the things in life that are important, primarily my family. So number two, I want to be paid for the value I bring to the company, not based on the number of hours I work. Is that fair? Yes. I would like advanced commissions on everything I sell, and I'd like to be paid for all the clients I bring to your company as long as they remain clients. I'd like to receive a $300 to $500 a month bonus each and every month, so I could use that towards a new car or some extra bills that I have. I'd like the opportunity to get paid every day if possible, Monday through Friday, because all my bills don't just come every 2 weeks. Number 6 was I expect you to provide me with the very best website, free online and classroom training, all the marketing tools that I need, plus leadership training all across the country for folks I bring in different parts of the United States and Canada. When I bring in and I train any new team member, I deserve to be compensated a percentage of their sales. And when they do well, I expect you reward me and them with some sort of bonuses. I'd like the opportunity to rapidly advance. When I do well, I want lots of praise, recognition, special awards, go on great trips, and even cash bonuses. I would like my friends and family to also work with me. I looked at him and said, absolutely, that's how we roll at Legal Shield. Welcome to the team. Because every single one of those things are true. Now, what that doesn't say is that you got to put in the activity, you got to do the activity, you got to do the work. You can't be afraid of rejection, because rejection is very hard to handle. It's a real downer when somebody, you think, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, this is going to work, this is going to be great, and then they float away, right? For whatever reason. We run into that stuff all the time. You know, it's tough when people that you care about and like and trust and value their opinions, that they're not jumping on board with you right away. But that happens. You know, whatever type of rejection that we ever feel, they're only looking at the message, not you. We can't take it personally. And then you got to figure out, where do I find these people? Well, I could tell you, Lee and Annette, they find a lot of people at Chamber of Commerce events. I know Bob Pozlowski, the same thing. I know Ted finds people when he's driving them around town. I know I find people when I'm out getting things, getting done and getting my car fixed. And we meet people at the grocery store. We meet people that are in organizations that we are in, like Lions Club or Kiwanis. We meet people at meetup groups, you know, where they've got similar hobbies to us. We meet people when we're walking around town. We're always looking for people to be able to see the people and tell the story. And listen, it's your time. I mean, the company just made some announcements the other day. They're putting millions and millions of dollars on the line right now for us to grab a hold of. Our new CEO has been with us for about 8-9 months. Super chill, but very smart, intensely focused, knows how to drive business and help that business achieve massive success. And we're part of that. We just got a head start on the people who are not even here yet, but we got to go out, we got to meet them. So let's take this month of September, find out, you know, use the Prospect by PPLSI, make sure you've got that downloaded, make sure you take a look at the videos, start getting them in the hands of more folks, because more activity leads to more results. Less activity leads to less results. That's just the way it is. So I got the opportunity now. I'm going to take this Zoom and turn it over to a gentleman that is the reason that every single one of us are here, plus tens of thousands of other associates across the country. Like he corrected me earlier, he's on his 4th million now with Legal Shield. I mean, he gets the opportunity to travel the world. He's now in New Hampshire spending time. I've seen him in Michigan. I knew him when he was in Kentucky, and now he's over New Hampshire working on his 4th million. Our friend, our mentor, Mr. John Drennan.
Well, thanks so much, Timmer. And I'm here because my grandkids live here. And I heard you say that's now in your future. I will say this up front. You know, I start my 26th year at the end of this month. And I can remember 20 years ago imagining grandchildren, imagining having income coming in, whether I'm working or not, imagining a book of business and a team of people and leverage. And all that's happened. So, and by the way, that guy you talked about and his list, most people would hear that list and say, you're dreaming. I mean, come on. You can't have all that. The fact is, everything he wanted is here. So I want to commend every one of you. You know, it is Labor Day weekend, and you started by saying we'll be light tonight. And I get that. I've got a lot going on this weekend, but you've shown up. And no doubt in this business and in life, our success begins with showing up. So I commend every one of you and want to congratulate you and Nat just for everything that we heard tonight. And you, Lee, and you two as workout partners. And Timmer acknowledged it, but that was a clue there. And also, you know, when Lee said, I made a decision, that's the most powerful word there is right there, is decision. So kudos, you guys. Deshaun, welcome you. Hey, by the way, Deshaun, if you know how to hit the blue button where your name is and type in your name, would love for you to do that. And that I'm saying for everybody, when you get on Zooms, have your name and maybe add where you're from as well. That's something I'm learning in Zoom etiquette, because when you have people from around the country, around the continent, that's a good thing. But welcome aboard, Deshaun, and you are with a star, no doubt. So, Timmer, you said 221 months, I believe, for Performance Club. If you take that and average $400 a month, because over the years the numbers have changed, but you are right about $100,000. That's earned over time just in bonus, 100 grand. So think about that. But I want to make a couple comments here about the fact we are into a fall. This is my 25th fall, 25th September being in this business. And here's why this time of year is magical. And I hope you hear this. And you already know it. Vacations are over. Kids are starting school. People are getting back to routines. And with that, a lot of people are thinking about, what can I do differently? How can I earn more income? Timmer touched on that. People this time of year go into this place of imagining different, new, more, other. They do it again January 1st. They do it again a lot of times at the beginning of the summer. But this is a magical time. And historically, the fall has been the best season for network marketing. And those are some of the reasons. You know, Timmer was talking about people wanting change, and a big part of that is just their money's not going far enough. And, you know, you can tell people you found a way to get paid on demand, because we do pay daily. I tell the parent who wants to do something special for their child's birthday on a Friday that they can get up Monday, go to work, put in a couple sales, and put another 400 or 500 into their bank account prior to the birthday. That's income on demand. Another thing about right now is the company and what the company's doing, and that will really come to fruition October 3rd in Dallas when they announce everything that's coming. But that adds to what I'm talking about. We're in the best season of this industry, but from a timing perspective, we're in a great season with Legal Shield because of what they're about to introduce. So I want to wrap up with this. How do you take control of your business, not just in the fall of this year, but on any day that you get committed? Number one, you have to do three things. And I've been teaching this for over 20 years. It has not changed. Number one, you have to show up. Well, you've done that tonight. You're doing that right now. Show up October 3rd in Dallas. Ask yourself, if you say, gee, I can't. A lot of people go right to, I don't have the money, the time, I've got to work, I can't get off, I'm afraid to fly, whatever the reasons are. But ask yourself this powerful question: what has to happen for me to be there? And if you stay focused on that question, your brain will give you an answer. But if you let the, well, I can't, interfere with that question, then you'll never go. So that's the question: what has to happen? So number one is showing up. Number two is doing the activity of the business. Obviously, we have to do that. And then number three is personal growth, personal development, grow personally. Here's why that's so important. This is not a sales business. This is not a legal business. This is a people business. And when you grow yourself, you will be more effective with people. That is the bottom line, because it starts with us. So when we're more effective with us, we're more effective with other people. You know, and the conference, Timmer referred to it as a leadership conference. Some people hear that and say, well, I'm not a leader. Let me just tell you, in this business, leadership starts with leading self. So yes, you are a leader. We all are. So one more thing, Timmer, I want to encourage people, because we don't see it a lot. We don't hear it a lot. When I first got in this business, it was all about PBRs, private business receptions in your home. Then eventually, as we got more conference calling capability, a lot of people went to PCCs, private conference calls. Those were better from this standpoint. You could invite people from anywhere in North America. They didn't have to get in their car and arrive at your house. Well, then we went to PZOs, private Zoom opportunity or offering. So a private Zoom. So I'm going to encourage everyone to do PZs, private Zooms. How do you do it? You pick a time and date, you find someone to come on as third party to share the information, then you start inviting. Have a backup date. So if someone says, Lee, I'd love to come, but I've got my kid's thing that day. Say, well, I knew some people wouldn't be able to, so I'm also doing it Saturday at 1 o'clock. Offer 2 times that they can say yes to. Now, if you invite 30 people and none come, you have 30 people to follow up with because you've set that in motion. If you invite 30 and 4 are on, you got 4 to actively follow up with properly. So those are just a few ideas here. And again, I commend y'all. I wish y'all a great finish here to your Labor Day and a fabulous September. Thanks, Timmer. Great job tonight. Back to you. You're muted, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. It's one thing I got taught by my kids used to always say to me, they'd hear Mr. Drennan say, please mute yourself, please mute yourself, please mute yourself. So I'm always muted. And sometimes I forget to unmute. So thank you so much, Mr. Drennan, for your sharing your tips to us, because, you know, as Mr. Drennan's talking, I'm hearing him talk about, you know, the 3 legs of the stool. And I'm just thinking that's the basics of this business. That's the fundamentals. You know, it's kind of like in football, you know, you run, you block, you tackle, right? That's all you do is those couple things over and over and over again. And it leads you to tremendous stuff. So thank you so much, Mr. Drennan, for your tips this evening. Thank you, Lee and Annette, for joining us tonight. We will get this recording off to folks. I would have had a video, but something was going on with my internet. It won't go back and forth between the two. So unfortunately, not going to have that tonight. So you just have to go with the information that we gave this evening. Everybody have a tremendous, tremendous night. And bye-bye for now.